Hello, I'm Rick DeYoung from the Homesteader Store. This is one in our series of equipment for rookies. One of the biggest things we have is people bringing equipment in and they wonder whether they should invest in repairing it. What we're going to be looking at today is a test that we can use on equipment to determine if it's worth investing in that equipment anymore. And that test that we do is called a compression test. The compression test actually tests how much the pressure the cylinder will hold as the piston comes up, which I'm going to show you in just a minute. Now today we're going to do this on a chainsaw, but this applies to all engines. This gentleman brought this chainsaw in and said it's very hard to start. And so what we wanted to do is do a compression check on it. So basically, and I've got some of this prepped already, is that we take the spark plug out, and I've already got this loosened. Then we do a visual check right away. And so if you look in this cylinder, you'll see it right down in the hole I shine down in, you'll see right away there's scratches, which is actually called scoring on the side of the cylinder wall. That prevents the good seal that is needed. So this already is telling me that this might be subject to a low, what's called low compression. So we will take a compression tester, which this is a compression tester, which has different ends that I can put on here for different size, and I've got this one spec'd for this chainsaw. We'll put the compression tester in, and it's got an O-ring on it. But now when we're doing a compression test like this, what we want to do is open up the throttle plate in the carburetor. That will allow air to flow in freely into the cylinder and give us the most accurate reading. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the throttle plate and just put a clamp here, and now we're ready to do our compression check. Now when we're going to do the test, I'm going to just pull this over again with the throttle open. So this gauge is telling us that we're at about 110 psi. This should be reading up near 170 psi. 150 would be barely acceptable. So right away what we're seeing is that it is not holding the compression. So what is actually happening, and I'm going to open up this particular lawnmower engine, but there's a piston in there with piston rings. And the cylinder liner and these piston rings seal the combustion chamber. There is actually scoring where there is a lack of lubrication that's causing the metal to be torn away. And often these rings that are actually spring set and push against the outside of the cylinder, those rings often get welded into place so they can't push out and seal the cylinder. Then as the power stroke occurs, as the fuel is ignited, the pressure pushes down and it slips past the rings. And therefore, this does not have power. The other result is that it becomes extremely difficult to start. You may pull it and pull it and pull it and not get it started. Or in like a riding lawnmower, crank over the starter over and over and over again. So one of the things I would recommend is that when you have something like this that is questionable, bring it in to us and we'll do a compression check on it and we'll know right away whether it's worth investing in that piece of equipment or not.